Hey, good evening to you folks. How are you? It is good to see you. It is good to be seen by you. I, of course, am the one and today only person who will claim to be the Dungeon Delver, Bill Sylvie. And I hope you're having an absolutely stellar evening. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. I had a pretty good one, and I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. Whether you're watching live, whether you're watching later, greetings to the future, from the past to the future. Greetings from a Delve man. But anyway, I hope you're all doing absolutely fabulous this evening. Before we get too deep into the ongoings this evening, a new feature for Monday that I'm adding is Adventurer's Corner. Over here, I'm going to do, because a lot of you guys were like, oh, I want to see the minis. What do you got going on with the minis? What have you got going on with the minis? And of course, you can't always, you couldn't see them very good over there. And now that I have the wide angle lens and I've kind of moved myself around, you can't see them at all. You got a little bit of a view over here, and I kind of told you guys about a tableau I had set up last week for entertainment, but this is a new feature. Tell me what you guys think of this. Let's see what's going on, and I'll describe the scene that you guys are about to see. So let's hop right straight into that. Let's see if that works. And there we are. So we have a group of adventurers here. We have a half orc. We're going to say he's a fighter, because this is AD&D, right? This is AD&D. And then we got a druid. We have a human paladin here. There might be some storm giant somewhere back in his lineage. He's huge. We've got a half elf fighter thief going on back here. And then, of course, over there, we've got a cleric. And what are they facing off against, of course? Why, none other than the AD&D accurate, I should point out, trolls from Otherworld Miniatures, who make absolutely fantastic minis. That's not a sponsorship plug or anything like that. That's just what we like around Castle Delve, and I hope you guys enjoy seeing that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that up. I won't have the camera zoomed in every time. We won't pay him a visit. But that little static scene is what will decorate this shelf. Sometimes it may be Dwarven Forge. All right? And I'll have to figure up a better camera setting than just it pointing in from that angle over there. But you will always get to see cool minis in the mix over there, and I am excited about it. I hope you guys are excited about it. It's just a little value add, just a little feature that I wanted to bring to you guys, and here we are. Boom, back to the studio, and I hope you guys like that. So we've got a fairly quiet week ahead of us, although there's something I need to check out. But before we get into that, of course, I want to remind everybody that this video is brought to you by our friends at Hellebarde Games. Hellebarde Games makes the kind of adventures that they'd like to play, whether it's for Castles and Crusades, 5th edition, or the OSR. Old school is in play at the table with Hellebarde Games, and you can pick them up on DriveThruRPG or check them out at their website, hellebardegames.com. And I just finished an edit over there. Yes, I've done a little bit of work for them. I like what they do. They like what I do. Hello, Ricky. Yes, we're alive. Yeah, you should definitely check them out. hellebardegames.com, because there's a humdinger of a module coming out, and it has a couple of my favorite monsters in it. All right, a couple of my favorite monsters are in this module that's coming up, so it's going to be worth your time. I finished up today. I sent in the first fix-up, the first OD&D fix-up of a module for Heidi and Eric, of course. The AD&D fix-up I sent out a couple of weeks ago, and I did the OD&D conversion. They're kicking it around, and once that goes into final fix-up, they'll put the edits in, and then it will be ready to go. The edits in, not the edison. So I'm stoked about that. I'm keen to see what's going on there. I am working on finishing up the first leg of a tripod, if you will, for my buddy Yang Yan Zhao has entrusted me to write some adventures for him, and I'm getting up on finishing up the first of those. I'm sorry it became a protracted process, Yang. I promise the next won't be. But that first chunk is finishing up this week, and then the third chunk will hopefully finish up this week. And I know you're thinking, what is the middle one? Why isn't you don't know? It goes 1, 2, 3. Do it right. 1 and 3 are closely tied together, but I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to give away too much about that. Yang's stuff is going to be awesome, and it's going to be worth your time, and you're going to want to be part of it because Bill Sylvie will be on that. So I'm finishing up that one this week. And now that I've said it on the show, it has to happen. Okay? You all heard it, and people will be hearing it as they watch the live stream, as they go on. So now I have to get it done. I haven't just given Yang a due date to break again. I've told everyone that I'll be done with it no later than this week. So I'm stuck. I got to get it done. I've got 3D printing going on. I've got some stuff going out. Little secret project. It's on the QT, NLT, BLT, CIA, NSA, FBI. It's all of those. You heard of Agent Orange? That was me. That was my code name, Agent Orange. So that is also going on in the background. Fortunately, it's a pretty hands-free and hassle-free process to just 3D print. Printer goes brrr. And I got 3 resin printers now. I want to get my filament printer working. Daddy still loves you. My filament printer, which I've got miniatures that I printed with a filament printer, and I'm proud of them. I just got to get it tweaked and set up and so on. IR, you like the you like the camera angle? Thank you. The white box reprint. Okay, that I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to do a show on that tomorrow. I'm going to do a show all about that tomorrow because I have all this free time. You see. But yes, I heard that today. A little birdie told me so. Bill T from Paint Minis Live, who's got a stream going on right now, but stay here and watch mine. Go watch his. Go watch his. It'll actually be better for his metrics if you watch it after. That's a true thing. But Bill T told me about that today. So I'm going to be doing it. Merits its own standalone show, but suffice to say, under the category of RPG news, yes, I've heard about the boxed set, and for those of you who haven't, it's a reproduction of the OD&D white box set, which is hiding. Why are you hiding back there? There you go, my guy. The OD&D white box set from Wizards of the Coast. The same people that brought you the Founders Edition collection of Magic the Gathering cards. And if you cannot deduce by the tone of my voice where we're going with this, it's someplace very sarcastic. But we'll address it tomorrow. Greetings, Jorge. Good to see you. I did not know that, Ricky. No, I'm not. That was by the way, if you guys are not familiar, if there's a few people out there like, whoa, Agent Orange, that is a reference to Trading Places, Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd, Jamie Lee Curtis, at the beginning of the movie, he is, how shall we say, Eddie Murphy is down on his luck, and he's panhandling in a park, and he's pretending to be a disabled vet and harassing people for change. And when the police approach him, he says, yeah, I was in Vietnam. I was all over that place. I was in. And he starts just rattling off a bunch of fake, made up Vietnam sounding names. And said, you guys ever hear Agent Orange? That was my code name. That is Secret Agent Orange. Very special forces, Force Recon, Green Beret. That was me, Delta Force. So he just kind of rambles there. Orbital Air, hello. Oh, Dungeon Minister, greetings. Thank you very much. You know, we kind of kid around with each other, but I just want to publicly, first of all, if you can be in the Ontario area, I say the Ontario area, that might be like saying if you can be in the Texas area, but up in that region, Dungeon Minister is actually having a face-to-face convention, like an in real life convention. Attend it. Check out his channel. He'll have details. Attend it. Absolutely. If you can go, attend his convention. And I hope every subscriber to my channel shows up at your convention, Dungeon Minister. I hope you have 4,720 people show up at your convention, all ready to game. I don't mean that as an insult. I hope it's that successful. I of course, I can't go all the way to Canada. Not since the incident. But Dungeon Minister said to me today that if he thought I could make it up there, that I would be a guest of honor, and I thank you so much, Father. I really do. That's touching. That is touching, and I greatly appreciate it. But I hope you're blessed with dozens, hundreds of attention. I hope you have the problem of going, Lord, help me. I need a bigger event space. And everyone just has an absolute gas. So if you're not subscribed, please go subscribe. A couple other small channels you might want to check out. Pate Minnie's Live. RPG Grandma. Now, Ricky, I'm going to get this wrong, and I'm not doing it on purpose. Is it Dungeons and Disabilities or Disabilities and Dragons? I'm sorry. Say it down below. But Ricky Maru has a YouTube channel that you guys definitely should also check out. Particularly if you have someone, or if you have someone in your life who has a disability and they have certain hurdles that they need to cross to game. He's got a channel where he approaches these things, and with his typical aplomb and humor. Check him out. And my guy, of course, the Vile Necromancer, who is MIA. I hope to hear from you again soon, brother. I really do. We miss you. D and Disability. That's it. D and Disability. So check that out. But please, your hole has an occupancy limit. Ain't nobody got time for that. Everybody rush his convention. Better start cranking out laminates. It's that Dungeon Delver effect. But who all is in your vendor hall? So what do you have? Like the narthex is the vendor hall, and then the games hall is in the sanctuary. How does that work? Drive-thru has a sale on. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, that's somebody mentioning Noble Knight. made me. Now, I did mention that these minis here, these troll minis here, that you guys can now not see because, but take pictures for the bishop and Photoshop out the dice. Yeah, just. Do you guys want to see a close up and just to have a real quick discussion of what the miniatures are in just a minute? Because we do have stuff to talk about, which I will start to do while you guys let me know what you want to do. First of all, tomorrow night, first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons is happening. And I'm very excited about that. I hope you guys are too. We have a live stream. Now, I know a lot of people are like, yeah, well, you know, I don't really want, or live streamed on YouTube for audiences, D&D games aren't real D&D. You know, they're scripted. And I know a lot of the more popular ones are, you know, that there's personalities and all this, that, and favorite characters and story arcs. Let me tell you what we do on Tuesday night. I have a group of players phone in. I'm calling it phone in. I'm having an actual boomer, as in born between 1945 and 1958 moment here. Bear with me. But I know. Just bear with me. They phone in. We sit down and we start playing first edition AD&D. 5 minutes into the game, there could be a total party kill. Because that's the way the dice go sometimes. Or, in 5 years, these characters could be drawing blades on Loth. Or walking into the Tomb of Horrors for the first and last time. You don't know. I don't know. They don't know, because it's real Dungeons and Dragons. It's real first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. There are no scripts. There are no planned events. I have modules because they're classics and they're fun. But that's how it goes. That's how it goes. You can't have a backstory. Your characters die too much. Here's your backstory. Back when I was a first level fighter, that's your backstory. But anyway, yeah, I want to, the trolls, like I said, the trolls are from Otherworld, and they are awesome. They are proper AD&D trolls. Long noses, long skinny limbs, just black pits for the eyes. The guys over Otherworld really hit their AD&D miniatures out of the park. They look like they stepped out of Dave Trampier and Errol Otis and Dave Sutherland and on and on and on. Out of their artwork, it looks like they stepped out of their art. And I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. But that's not what I'm saying. You said that. You said that, unregistered. You said that, not me. Not me. You see, it's a jump to conclusions, Matt. There's a conclusion, and you jump to it. Anyway, but the other minis that are up here, let's talk about those for a second. Let's flip over here real quick. So these brightly painted miniatures right here, I wish that I could claim that I did these print jobs. These paint jobs, but I did not. These were done by a company called Holistic Games. Now, Holistic Games now, I think, just makes computer games and associated properties. But back during the D20 boom, they made a huge range of pre-painted metal miniatures. And I've talked about these on the show in the dim distant past. With each, you got a set of stat cards. Not just for the characters, but for the monsters. So these are third edition. These might not even be 3.5, but third edition stat cards. I'll show you guys what the front looks like. These are fantasy encounters. It's got the little holistic logo on there. But this was a set of characters, and they're statted from like low level all the way up to epic level. And we have like, here's a half-orc monk and a human druid and a half-elf rogue and a half-giant human paladin, and then there's a human cleric there, or he might be elven cleric. I'm not sure, but they were extremely well painted. They're extremely well painted, and they're very nice, and I'm glad I have them. Now, Don McVitie, yes, Don of Hellebard McVitie, at the time in the 2000s, Don had a War Games review website, and it was actually kind of nice, and we got some okay traffic. But he wanted me to review role-playing games and such. So I started doing role-playing games. I reached out to Holistic and said, I'd like to review your Fantasy Encounters miniatures. And I thought, okay, they'll send me a set. They sent me every mini they had. They sent me 5 boxes of 5 miniatures, pre-painted metal miniatures each. And do I have that? I don't. These characters in their box came with a different color D20 for each. They were amazing. They were absolutely lovely pieces. They are lovely pieces. Another company that I reached out to was EM4, and they still have some of their pre-painted metal minis in stock. But it's a rare thing to find pre-painted metal miniatures. And look, I don't care if you look at these 3rd edition stat cards as coasters. If you're like, lol, half-orc monk, never, lol. That's fine. We're a 1st edition AD&D family around here. I completely understand this, but these guys, regardless, are wonderful minis to just have. They have the heft of metal. The paint is marvelous. I've only had to touch up a couple, but they sent me. I have the orcs, the elves, the dwarves, the adventurers, and the undead. There's actually a set of undead. There's a skeleton, a zombie, a ghoul, a vampire, and a lich. Oh, Kevin Lamb, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kevin Lamb. I appreciate that. Kevin says, hi, Bill. Here's a very enthusiastic finder's fee for finally helping remember the name of Attack Force. After my display jogged my memory, you were immediately able to buy it off of eBay. Well, that's awesome, dude. That's fantastic. That's what we do. We spread gaming goodness around here. We do. And I thank you so much for the super chat. That is lovely. That is absolutely lovely. But to return to the minis, so yeah, I suddenly found myself awash in pre-painted metal miniatures, and they're gorgeous. They're absolutely gorgeous, and I wish they still made them. I can understand, the price point would be a bit steep, but are the round base mini? No. These, as I was saying earlier. The trolls here are Otherworld miniatures. They're AD&D accurate trolls. And with my awesome paint job, they're even more AD&D accurate. Thank you very much. And so the tableau here is that the trolls are outside this poor beleaguered inn. Here, once again, the inn is under attack, and the trolls are being fought off by this redoubtable band of characters. So that's pretty awesome. So anyway, Tuesday, 1st edition AD&D. Wednesday, Kyle is in the house, and you guys know what Wednesdays are like, or maybe you don't. You guys should be here more often for Wednesdays, because Kyle and I have a ton of fun. Do you know what we did last week? No, you don't, because a bunch of you missed it. Last week, Kyle and I went through and built a demon. per the generating creatures from the lower planes table in the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Dungeon Master's Guide. That's right. We had fun. Random tables, man. Random tables, Random Wednesday. We absolutely loved it. We had a blast. And then we generated an intelligence sword that just happened to be in the demon's treasure hoard. We created, I can't remember if it was lawful good or neutral good, but we created a good intelligence sword that had, I think it did detect sloping passages. It was intelligent. Guys, we had so much fun exploring a very rarely used corner of the AD&D Dungeon Master's Guide. You gotta stop in on Wednesday, guys. Kyle is an erudite dude, and look, I'm just gonna tell you something. Just let's bring it down for just a second. Kyle's a huge part of why I'm not just sitting in front of the desk mumbling into a microphone in the middle of the afternoon to just people on Facebook. All right. A lot of people have had their hand in the success of the show. I don't, I'm just one guy, but behind me where you can't see, there's a lot of great people. I mean, my dear friend, Rusty, I have awesome studio lights and the boom for my mic and that camera. go price a Panasonic Lumix G7K. And that was an investment. Okay. The reason I'm not on some grainy webcam that's stuck up in my face is because I have great people on the show, and one of them is my co-host. So it's fun to watch. Dungeoneer says, it was so cool, but I never had anyone to play with. It didn't stop me, but it spurred my imagination. Well, there you go. There you go. We had to push it to create a sword. Well, we were going to create a sword anyway. We were going to create a sword regardless of whether it was in the devil's hoard or not. But, underwater demon with wings. That's right. That's you on a grainy webcam. Well, look, there's grainy webcam, and then there's, did you get that in a cereal box? So don't think I'm throwing shade at anybody working on a webcam. I'll be honest with you. I say that's a 4K webcam. YouTube only does up to 1080p. 1080p streaming to them unless you make special arrangements with them. Now I can upload 4K video that I shoot, and that's nice, but I mean, something like a 920C, which is what you guys are looking at this over here with. Oh, I know, Ricky. I know you're just giving me the business. It's fine. It's fine. That's how we do around here because we love each other. Thursday night. Thursday is July 27th, 2023. It marks the birth of Gary Gygax. Thursday night, Kyle will be here. Thursday night, I'm going to pour myself up a nice, cool Guinness, and we are going to welcome Heidi Gygax and Eric Garland, and possibly, now, look, I make no promises. I'm just letting you guys know, but possibly other members of the Gygax family will be joining us on the stream, and we will toast the man who is the reason we have a hobby. I don't mean the hobby of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. I don't mean the hobby of Dungeons and Dragons. I mean the hobby of role-playing games. The hobby of saying, let's pretend these numbers represent someone, a fictional me in another Melu, whether it is science fiction, the Old West, the Roaring Twenties, modern times, cyberpunk, any number of fantasy settings, alien worlds, other planes, comic book superheroes, movies. It's thanks to Gary. And so we're gonna celebrate that, and we're gonna celebrate the man just a little bit here on his birthday. We're gonna tilt a pint glass in remembrance and in celebration. Heidi and Eric will be here. That'll be 8 o'clock, 7 Central. And as I said, I don't know. I suggested it to them 15 minutes before the show. And I was certain they'd say, well, no, we're doing something else, or no, maybe not. And they immediately said yes. And then they said, if other members of the family want to be here, can they? And of course, I said, absolutely. So that's your Thursday evening, and you guys, of course, I want you to stop by, and don't be quiet. This isn't like some weird exhibit, like some weird museum. While we're celebrating, I want you guys to talk. I want you guys to tell me your stories, and we'll share them. We'll relate them. How many times did you die in the Tomb of Horrors? Your most favorite fight from GDQ, your most memorable adventures in Keep on the Borderlands, your biggest party in the Inn of the Welcome Wench. Whatever it is, I want you guys to just kick it up in the chat and welcome our guests, whether it's just Heidi and Eric, whether it's they and others still. Stop on by on Thursday night, because it's going to be good, and you're gonna want to be here for it. So it'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, I'll have a Guinness. Might even get some Baileys. Who knows? So that's Thursday. Friday, we'll have a little preamble ramble. And then at 9 o'clock, so we'll probably, kick off around 8:30. Just chew the fat. Little back and forth, little chit chat. Little how's your father? 9 o'clock, we're back to Gamma World. You guys are digging the Gamma World again, and I'm happy about that. All I had to do was whine and threaten to take it away. We'll be here. We'll be here, and playing some Gamma World, which you guys can enjoy. Oh no, Dungeon Minister! I was adjusting it down to see the crafting, and it zapped out in a green fritz. Oh, that's not good. That is not good at all. I am summoning the power of community. If anyone has a webcam that they can spare, the Dungeon Minister, I want you to reach out to him through his socials. He is on Twitter. He is on YouTube. I don't know if he's on Facebook, but you can do the 18-step verify thing and drop him an email. If you have a webcam that you can spare, not to loan, or alternately, when he live streams, go throw him some super chat. So he can pick up a new webcam. Do that for him, please, because it will be super helpful. Definitely a convenience. Props to you if you got that reference. But that's our week's lineup, guys. That's our week's lineup. We are drawing ever closer to the month of August. And it is an August month again. Zach asked, did Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson bury the hatchet? I think so. Gary said he didn't have a problem working with Dave Arneson. Gary, basically, as he was in charge of creative stuff, Gary hired Dave to do the DA series, the Dungeons and Dragons, or basic Dungeons and Dragons, if you want to call it, the Dave Arneson, the Blackmore series, DA1, DA2, and DA3. There was a DA4 and a DA5 planned, but when Gary was ousted from TSR, and it was an ouster, when you make things so untenable that somebody can't stay, that's an ouster. If you and I live together and I blast an air horn through a megaphone at all hours of the day and night and bang on pots and pans and stand outside your bedroom door screaming obscenities at you, I've made an untenable atmosphere. Nobody will blame you for I have basically ousted you from the house. I didn't tell him to go. I didn't throw him out. Yeah, people saying good Gary left of his own accord. He wasn't ousted. I saw this most ridiculous freaking tweet today. Like, TTRPG Twitter, particularly old school, is more or less okay. There's a couple of slap fights in there, but honestly, I just ignore both sides of it and just do my own thing. And I get that positive dopamine feedback, and it kind of pushes down on the soft tissue in the limbic system, like, but yeah, somebody snapshotted a tweet from some other idiot who said that it was misogynistic to say that Lorraine Williams fired Gary. Gary left of his own accord. But no, back to Gary and Dave. They worked together again. Arneson's Blackmore modules were published again, and if Gary hadn't gotten ousted from TSR, the rest of the DA series would have been published. So that tells you where the real problem was. So I hope that helped you, Zachary. I hope that kind of brought an answer to your question. Ricky, your birthday is coming up. Happy birthday! You're a young man. You're doing what? Mid-early 20s? Mid-20s? Mid-late 20s? Late, early, mid-20s? But seriously, happy birthday. It's funny you mentioned that somebody being thrown out of an old school Facebook group for not being old enough. I saw someone who was ousted from a meetup group because they were too old. They went, this is on the RPG Horror Story subreddit. And then the most ridiculous horseshit. The most ridiculous gaslighting from people. And they're like, well, I can kind of understand where they're coming from because of the reputation grognards have. And it was like 0 to Gygax bashing in 2 messages. Because these were not people in their early 20s, late teens. They were actually in their 30s and 30s or 40s. I don't remember which. I don't know. People are strange. What's a meetup group? A school addict? No, not as far as I know. Insert name here. You have a 5e group, and it wasn't just one person. It was an older couple. Insert name here knows who I'm talking about. You read it too, didn't you? Getting old is mandatory. Growing up is optional. Did the former, not the latter. Sorry, that's a lot of speed. But anyway, so what else is going on? Like I said, I'm going to have a video out tomorrow about this white box repro, the Wizards of the Coast. See, I Googled it. I was looking around, and all I could find was the, and I think you guys can probably see this heathen box over here. So this is such a bad idea. I'm not going to be able to get this back up here. I'm going to end up holding it on my lap for the rest of the night. This is the 2014 or 40th anniversary reproduction box set from Wizards of the Coast. I got this as a gift. And it's not bad. It's really not a bad presentation. Wooden box. Nice kind of artwork in there that doesn't really fit any of the rest of the aesthetic for OD&D. This thing, which I've actually had someone offer to buy this for me, just this. Like, oh, I foolishly threw mine away. Would you sell yours? No. And then you have the reproductions of most of the OD. I think they missed a trick. They really should have put a repro copy of Chainmail in here. But there's the repro OD&D booklets, very nicely made, I might add. And I think the whole set, like, you could find it discounted for as little as like $97 or something like that. Oh, and it came with some red dice. I just keep them in there. I have plenty of dice. I don't need these. But so they you know, like I said, I saw it for as cheap as $97. It went pretty fast because I think it was limited in numbers. Like legitimately limited, not like the old what was it, the Franklin Mint, limited to just 200 firing days, and every one of those days we'll make 10,000 of them. But the yeah, this was around $100. And I am glad that I have one. And I can't believe this. I mentioned this. It fit back up there. That Wizards of the Coast, as grating as they were, is light years away from the way Wizards of the Coast is now. That Wizards of the Coast, the Wizards of the Coast that re-released first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons hardbacks and talked about how, you know, we as gamers and creators stand on the shoulder of giants, of the great men who came before, of the great people who came before. And now they try and cover it up like a cat kicking sand over its mess in a litter box. They're so different. 10 years of difference. It's sad. It's just sad. But something's brewing in the original D&D space. And I've got how shall we say, I've got a two-pronged mindset about why they're doing what they're doing. But somebody pointed something out today, and I thought this was pretty darn good. Now, let me let me be 100% clear about something here. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. As a creator, my name is on products that have sold and continue to sell for money. The Lost Crypt, Elemental Moon, the serial numbers filed off version of Temple of the Sun, the upcoming AD&D conversions of the 2 modules that Heidi and Eric are putting out. Yang is going to publish some stuff of mine. I have some more stuff, hopefully, that I can get to before the end of the year from Frog God Games under their Necromancer Impressum. I have given away a great many things. So I don't condone piracy. I don't. But it was pointed out today, you can play classic Dungeons and Dragons for free. I don't just mean you can download a copy of Osric. I don't just mean you can go to, some web domain that ends in .ru and hopefully, not wind up with a human trafficking Bitcoin miner installed on your computer as you're trying to look at a bad scan of Tomb of Horrors. Archive.org. The classic books are out there. They are available. Unlike Magic the Gathering, Hasbro, Wizards, unlike Magic the Gathering, we don't need you to keep playing Dungeons and Dragons. We never did. But it's never going to go away. You cannot put the genie back in the bottle. You can't. You can't even make it inconvenient for people who aren't willing to raise the black flag and say, yo, ho, ho. You can't. Now, would I like to be able to tell people that forever and ever you can get a hardback in-print copy of the Dungeon Master's Guide, the Player's Handbook, the Monster Manual? Of course. Of course. But until you guys shake off whatever it is that's, put the bee in your bonnet that currently has, there's always the danger that you'll just type in a drop tables command and order DriveThruRPG to do the same, and then that's the end of it. Because of modern sensibilities. Of course, we have to cater to the people who will never buy your products under any circumstances anyway. The moral busybodies. The 0.5% of 0.5% that have Twitter accounts and hashtag cancel old D&D. You have to appeal to them, you see, because they might spend a few bucks on a Magic set or some regrettable, terrible 5e supplement. Not us. Not the people who've been, gaming in garages and church basements and youth centers and kitchens and after school detention and everything else in the world since 1974. No, those are the people you have to court. But Wizards, it's out there. And in as much as I can take or leave the show where it originated, there's a pretty good quote. You can't stop the signal. So good luck with that. Now, Magic the Gathering, Yeah, unfortunately, Magic players, you're kind of hosed. There you go, Miss Bella Games. Have I published an AD&D 1E module suitable for levels 4 to 6? I sure have. WGH 3, 4, and 5. WGH 3, 4, and 5 are suitable for level ranges 4 to 7. 5 is a little bit steeper. 5 might be more of a 7 to 9. But it's right in there. WGH 3, WGH 4, and WGH 5. The Howling Hills modules. Into the Howling Hills, Tombs of the Howling Hills, and Lords of the Howling Hills. They're brief. You can run them in a session or two. I do recommend you check them out. I think I saw that video, Dungeon Minister. Yeah, Discourse is a pretty fun channel. I like her. Oh, no, mages. You see, the Howling Hills modules, well, the entire WGH series is explicitly Greyhawk. It's not explicitly Greyhawk. It's, all the naughty drawings from the AD&D books. I recycled those. No. It is specifically set in the world of Greyhawk. At the time that I wrote those, there was no Osric. I was the first guy to really put it out there and risk the wrath of Wizards of the Coast. When you look at the Dungeon Crawl Classics modules, which, can I lay a hand on one without causing a disaster? Maybe? Yeah, here we go. Here's the Dungeon Crawl Classics module. So you look at this, and it looks like an AD&D module. This is from Goodman. He wasn't doing that until well after I was. No one was doing TSR-style trade dress for any products until I was. Goodman wasn't even doing old school feel modules until after I was. Immediately after I was. When I showed Goodman Games what I was doing with my free modules, no one was doing it. I mean, I won't say no one was writing their own first edition AD&D adventures. That would be arrogant of me. I'm just saying no one was putting it out there like I was. There was no OSR. So I put these out there fully understanding that one day the cease and desist letter might come, and it never did. Because I believe at the time, no matter how much I didn't like 3rd edition, didn't like 3.5, that was a different and better Wizards of the Coast. So when I published my modules, I said, look, they're 1st edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and they're Greyhawk. I would get the occasional limit. Could you convert these to 3rd edition? No. You can. They're free. I can't stop you. If anyone ever converted them to 2E or 3E or 4E or 5E, I don't know. No one ever came back to me. I do remember one fellow that used to talk to me on MSN Messenger pretty regularly. He was a fan of mine. He printed them out to use at a convention, and someone bought them from him. They were like, this looks just like an AD&D. Now, when he said print it out, I don't know if he took it to a print shop and got it or if he just printed them out and stapled the corner, did it with his bubble jet. I don't know. Exactly. Hence the please don't sue me disclaimer. Yeah, that was DCC for 3E. We'll see you, Dungeon Minister. Take care. He leaves and like my viewership drops by 5. You guys are, well, if Dungeon Minister's not here, I'm not sticking around this chat. But anyway, he's got a great channel, and I hope everyone subscribes. But yeah, so all my modules were set in the world of Greyhawk. Even the DD1 and DD2, which are really just introductory, like here's how you can kind of pick up playing AD&D without the pressure of an entire group, because they're made for one character and one DM. That's right, fish sticks and tater. What are fish sticks and tater tots but fish and chips? I ask you. Throw a little malt vinegar on there, a little remoulade. Come at me. But anyway, so yes, in doing the WGH3 through WGH5, I aimed them at that level, and I think you'll find them good. But anyway, the expressly Greyhawk. Thank you, John Stewart Keller. To get back to the question of where they are, you'll have to go find them. I have a blog. People remind me periodically, like, you have a blog. Yeah, and I haven't done anything with it since 2016. But they're linked through the blog. You can find them if you look for the Delver's Dungeon blog. You'll find them. And then you can download them through there. They're on Google Drive, but that's where you can get them in PDF format. So that's the genesis of the WGH series. Apple cider vinegar, yummy. That sounds delicious. Apple cider vinegar is an underrated condiment. Was it? I feel like it was around like 2011 to 2015, 2016 when people were like, drink apple cider vinegar. And I tasted. I cook with it every once in a blue moon, so I have some, and I tasted it once, and wow, huh. And you want me to drink a cup of it? That sounds more like one of those TikTok challenges that was going around 2017, 2018. Take care, Road March. We'll see you. Hey, don't miss don't miss Thursday night. Heidi and Eric. We'll have a lot of fun. But anyway, so there were a couple of things that I meant to do this week that kind of got pushed back. And given how busy things are going to be this week, I hope you guys can forgive me. It does. And I see the emails, and it trips me out sometimes. Like, I've gotten up in the morning and there's like 9 requests for access. Like, 3 different people all want one copy of each, and I'm like, holy cats, is that for real? But yes, it does. So keep an eye on your email if you go to download them, and it's like, well, I want to know that you can do that. I got to manually click the bomb release. But I had planned to start on Rumble this week, and I didn't. I will I will get that going next week. Next Monday, and again, I've said it in front of you guys. I said it in front of 30 something of you guys. Next Monday, get ready to Rumble. We'll be on Rumble. So if you want to support the show on it, because Rumble is like, oh, you have a show? You want to stick the tin cup out? Go do it. Knock yourself out. Good luck. Bon chance. As opposed to, YouTube's like, if you've never seen the movie LA Story, it's ridiculous. I recommend it. It's Steve Martin, and I can't remember who else is it. Emma Thompson, I think. Yeah, I'm almost certain it's Steve Martin and Emma Thompson. It's a series of comedic vignettes. And there's this skit where they like have to go to a bank. It's like the Fourth Reich bank. I'm not making that up. It looks like it was shot in front of the Tempelhof airport. It looks like that. You know what I'm saying? A certain Yahtzee architecture style. And they're just trying to get reservations to some hoity-toity restaurant. And Patrick Stewart is like the bank president. Like literally they have to get a credit check to get that. And it's the most ridiculous. I love the scene. And that's like getting your monetization going from Google. Oh, they try and put like a smiley face on it, but it's like, do this. Now do this. Now do this. Now do this. Now do this. You're almost done with a first step. Which one of these pictures doesn't have a car in it? Hey, Death Angel Shadow. And Death Angel Shadow, if you guys will notice, Death Angel Shadow is he is a member of the Delver's Dungeon. That's right. For as little as $1.99 a month, you can support the Delver's Dungeon right here on YouTube. And I meant to actually put that in the crawl below. If you want to support the channel, but you don't want to support us on Patreon and you don't want to support us on Subscribestar, there are YouTube memberships now. I'll add more stuff to it. But right now, you guys are asking about modules. You guys are asking about D&D modules. Right now, in the works is the first module, and it will come out in August for all $10 and up patrons, Subscribestars, and YouTube memberships. At the $10 and up mark, you get a free mini first edition advanced Dungeons and Dragons module. And the one coming up this month, the inaugural one for August, is going to be good. So I hope you guys enjoy. I'm thinking about adding more levels with more stuff, but we'll have to see about that. We'll have to see. Good night, Road March. Drinking apple cider vinegar is almost on the level of drinking vanilla extract, thinking it'll taste like vanilla. Yeah, it won't. Hey, you got your package from Gaxland today. No spoilers now. I'm not due one. Tartar sauce is good. The local expat Irish pub down here that's simply amazing. It's Fiddler's Green. Their remoulade is out of this world. I mean, it is to die for. Like, I get a plate of fish and chips from them, and I'm like, malt vinegar, ketchup, or remoulade. Which do I want on which bite of fish? Thank you, mages. I will take care of you. I will, when I'm out of here, when I'm getting ready to set up the first edition AD&D game, of course, I'll be sitting over at that PC over yonder, which you guys can't see. I understand that. And then I will give you access. I will give you access. But anyway, again, I'm super excited about Toasting Gary Thursday with Heidi and Eric on the show. I'm hyped about it. I hope you guys will be here. It's not going to be like an Al Capone's Vault moment. We're going to enjoy the moment. If put fish on some, ew. into your review cap series. Okay, mages, that's cool. I love hearing legitimate, like, well thought out reviews of my modules. Now, I'm not afraid of criticism. I don't fear legitimate criticism. There was someone who reviewed that, and basically could sum up his reviews as lol grognard. So if you go looking for them on like RPG Geek, you'll see who reviewed them, and his review can be summed up as lol grognard. This is a dude who pisses himself in happiness over stuff like Maze of the Blue Medusa, Deep Carbon Observatory, and you know, all that. Look how weird I am. Pay attention to me. Garbage, nouveau dungeon punk crap. And look, if that's your jam, that's your jam. But I've never been shy about what I am and what I do. It's like going to a fucking classic car rally and scoffing at, like, you know, a 71 Le Mans and saying, that doesn't even have Bluetooth or environmentally friendly air conditioning. Ha. And then strolling up to a Kia Sophia and dry humping it. Eldrad Wolf's Brain. Rock and roll. You call them review caps because I recap the session played. Oh, neat. I can't wait to hear about that. The best review I've ever gotten to date was Lux Gabor. Gabor? I gotta have Lux back on the show again one of these days. I like the man. I do. But he did review The Lost Crypt, almost a Temple of the Sun. He did review The Lost Crypt, and his review was extremely fair. And he said, this feels like part of something larger. And I said, well, Lux, that's because it was part of something larger. Like, if it just feels like map incomplete, like I should be able to walk through there and get to more awesome stuff. Yeah, that's what happened. Let's see. So Rumble is just Rumble, I think, has Rumble does like have like uploaded videos and stuff. Medicated Dungeon Master. A rat rod. I tell you, if you want to see the ultimate rat rod, Comproggy, if you're not subscribed now, let me tell you, when I talk about channels that have over 100,000 subs, like it's a little. I'm never going to get any love back from Junkyard Digs or Pole Barn Garage or Thunderhead 289 or Dylan McCool. Right? They're never going to go, oh shucks, the Dungeon Delver's talking about us. You guys go give him some love. We're different planets entirely, and I get that, and I accept that. But the guy who does Pole Barn Garage went out, and I mentioned this before. The guy that went out and did that does Pole Barn Garage saw a Craigslist ad in Texas. He's in Kansas City. That's a drive. He was in Missouri. This guy's in Texas. That's a drive. That's a one-way drive. A Pontiac GTO that had, since I don't know when, the mid-1970s, been used exclusively as target practice. You could literally see from one side of the car to the other. Words fail to describe. It is more bullet holes than car. You know what he did? The frame was still good. He drove down to Texas. He got it. He straightened the body out as best as he could. and he put a hell of a new old stock Le Mans rebuild muscle engine in it, and interior and everything. Now, when he bought the car, because it had been sitting in the mud and the dirt and everything, there was a cactus growing in it. He made sure the cactus wasn't destroyed, brought it home, put it in a pot, took a cutting from the cactus back to the property where he bought it, and stuck that in the ground once he got the car running a year later. It's called the Holy Goat. GTO Goat. HOLEY, Holy Goat. That rebuild is worth watching. It is a Car Wars car. It is a road warrior. It is a post-apocalypse punk looking vehicle, and it deserves your attention because this dude, people, some of the repair guys on YouTube that I watch, they're like, oh, we drove this car out of its grave. No, you woke that car up. You woke that car up. It might have taken you a couple of days. That was a car brought out of its grave, and it's worth your time. Thank you, Fuchsia. I love it too. I like it very much. It's all the stuff that you guys saw and loved. The books that were over here, the Space Hulk's still up there, but I brought down some miniature terrain that you'd never seen before. I moved some books up off the floor. I got books out of boxes. I got this new bookshelf in, and stuff is better where you can see it. I got some Japanese model kits and some Akira stuff, but unfortunately you guys can't see. It's a little too high, even with a wide angle lens. Vice Grip Garage is really good. I'm gonna be honest with you. First of all, I think the guy is very positive. Vice Grip is a lot of fun to listen to. And I don't begrudge him his success in the least. I think Derek is an awesome person. He's an awesome dad. He's an awesome husband. And he deserves every bit of success he's got. When Pole Bar Garage goes out and they do what they did with the Holy Goat versus, Derek hopping a plane and finding a car and trailering it home and putting a $10,000 blueprinted engine in it. It's a little different. I like them both. I'm subscribed to all the channels. Again, Thunderhead, Dylan, Pole Barn, and Vice Grip. But it's a little different. Oh, that red Toyota pickup truck, Michael Connor. I know the one you're talking about. Yeah. It's like they left it on the beach deliberately and let the surf claim it, pulled it out with a cherry picker, pliers, and WD-40. They got it running with again. A to Z Toyota. Yep. Is that Motoko Kusanagi next to Kaneda? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That is a good eye. How did you catch that? That is so blurry up there. But yeah, that is Lieutenant Kusanagi. But anyway, anybody have any questions about any of the stuff around the set? As I said, look, if you just come in and you haven't seen this, this is the diorama for this week. Band of Adventures. These are holistic pre-painted metal minis. Not holistic in the sense of, holistic medicine, but the company that made them was called Holistic. And these trolls are Otherworld Minis trolls painted by yours truly. Man, that is blurry. You know what? Maybe it would be better if I backed off that. Hang on. Maybe it would be better if I backed off of that video. Where's my... Just zoomed out of that? Is that better or worse? That zoom level? In cam. I mean, maybe if I just turned off autofocus, and I know that's terribly blurry. Don't at me. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's nice and focused. Yeah. That's not bad. Oh yeah, we got to figure he's if I'm throwing 3 trolls at him, that's a druid what's got fire seeds. Okay, let's just. But anyway, yeah. So this is the diorama for the week. Next week it'll be something different. I could have the in out and something completely different set up there with different minis. You don't know. You don't know. You'll have to watch. You'll have to watch that next week. That is a 920C. That is a Logitech 920C. It's a good camera. It's a good camera. But anyhow, so just a quick rundown before we wrap up, because I gotta get ready because I got AD&D very soon tonight. I got AD&D at 10 o'clock. Tomorrow night, first edition AD&D live Let's Play. Wednesday night is with Kyle. Be here for the Kyle She Won't Show because cool stuff will happen. You don't want to miss it. Thursday night, we will be having a drink with the Gygaxes on Thursday night. That's right. Gary's birthday, and we're going to celebrate it together. Don't miss it. Be here for it. And then Friday night, we are right back to Gamma World. So you guys don't want to miss a single thing. You don't want to miss a single moment of it. So I want to thank you all again. Thank you very much to Kevin Lamb for the super. I greatly appreciated that, Kevin. And guys, if you haven't already, if you're just stopping by, if you're just stopped by for the first time, please click the like button, click the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications. Leave a comment below and tell us what you did like about the video, and we'll do more of it. I'll have a video for you guys tomorrow. It's been a while. I'll have a video for you guys. So fear not. Stuff is coming. But until then, you might not see it here. You might not see it there. You might not see it anywhere. But maybe you'll see my owl bear. Good night.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle way off course? Naked as a toad all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.